Hello. Hi. It's me again. I hope everybody's having a good day. Uh, I guess I'll start. Let's start by saying Happy Pride Month, everybody. Hi, gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. This week at the Butter Shop, if we are having a special deal. If you can prove that you're queer, we'll add 3 pints off your choice of chucked or drowned butter. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. We love gay, and it's awesome. I need to like master saying the whole thing because it's so much fun for me. Hey, we wouldn't. Hey, wouldn't your partner want butter from the original old maid's home? Anyway, tonight we're gonna be doing more of Wither to Shine. I'd like to finish it tonight, but I don't know if that'll be possible because I don't know how long it's gonna be. But as a brief recap, last time, as things got considerably worse, somehow, they were already bad, but they're getting even worse. Humanity retreated to Aerospace City as their last hope. Our leader Vanessa died. We're losing a lot of ground real fast, and chaos is being consumed by the new Agent Zero. And in an act of desperation, the Commandant went into the Red Tide to try to wrest control over the virus from the new Agent Zero, and was instead saved by Ishmael, who convinced us to undergo the trial to pass through the gate in the Hetero Tower. And I think we just passed, which might mean that we're ascending to a higher plane of existence. Yeah. You know, just normal stuff, normal things. Let's get started. Alright, Spiral Tower. Whether to become an observer or to stay forever in the Hetero Tower, take a moment to rest, at least for now. The crimson mist gradually disperses, the grotesque crystals fading away, and you slowly open your eyes. The overlapping wounds from the infinite battle etched on your body have been tenderly smoothed away. The eternal darkness of night dissipates, and the Hetero Tower reverts to its peculiar former state, enshrouded in dense white fog. But something has certainly changed. An unfamiliar language and excessive information flood your mind incessantly. In that instance, time and space appear to solidify into a tome, granting you the freedom to explore its pages. A teeth-gritting creak echoes through the air as the Hetero Tower slowly transforms. Crystals recede, stairs rearrange. Within mere moments, the entire surroundings assume a wholly new guise. A crack slowly forms at the edge of space, and the pink-haired woman appears in silence. Hi, Bunny-chan, how are you? I hope you're having a good day. So this is the higher dimensional power? Once again, you attempt to feel the interior of the Hetero Tower. A compelling desire urges you, demanding you to use the Hetero Tower to reverse the future submerged by the punishing virus. However, devoid of its core, the Hetero Tower trembles, unable to respond to your commands. The core of the Hetero Tower has already been taken outside by you. Even if you could understand the underlying logic of the Hetero Tower, You cannot reverse its rules. I'll leave the Hetero Tower now, and bring back its core. Are you certain that you can land at the precise point in time? Vonnegut lacked the authority to mend the fissures and collapses within the Hetero Tower. Under his and Cradle's reckless actions, the tower crumbled long before. Now, all pathways have fallen into chaos, making it impossible to precisely locate a time for landing. Then why can you? Because I don't belong to your world, nor to the civilization where the Hetero Tower exists. Can you take me back? I'm sorry. Then can I return to the previous layer? Agent Zero still exists at the time where you entered the tower, and the core isn't inside the Hetero Tower, so... Are you fooling me? As your thoughts flow, you have begun reading this battered book. Fractures surround the Hetero Tower, with time in complete disarray. As a result, the Hetero Tower goes infinitely upward, its peak now beyond reach. If this continues, the Hetero Tower will eventually collapse completely. When that happens, all the fragments within, including human civilization and the remnants of other civilizations drawn into it, will vanish beyond the gateway. Even if you could somehow forcibly reclaim Agent Zero's authority, what then? Could the Hetero Tower, having lost most of its power, truly still rewind time back to the correct future? I'm not fooling you. You truly have gained power from a higher dimension. But the Hetero Tower is unusable, meaning everything I've done is utterly pointless. Inside the Hetero Tower, you can't even ensure that human civilization in that final timeline will survive. Strange skylight seeps through a fissure in the wall as the mutated red tide silently spreads, attempting to breach the Hetero Tower and corrupt time in the outside world. The remaining light abruptly extinguishes. The red tide crashes against the wall, finding no way through, and sluggishly retreats back into the crystal. Silence envelops the Hetero Tower. Unable to return to the correct timeline, with no way to use the Hetero Tower's power. Does it mean that for the remaining time to come, you can simply stay trapped here in the tower, catching the Hetero Tower's fissures while waiting for its inevitable demise? You tricked me. In this emotional turmoil, your newfound power responds instinctively to your thoughts, commanding sharp crystals to strike the pink-haired woman aside. Ishmael vanishes from her spot and, when she appears again, has moved to a higher area, her brow slightly furrowed. Calm down. This isn't like you. You offer no response. Eyes closed, you silently draw back the power, attempting to suppress the churning emotions. However, the bridge across dreams has already been demolished. There's no going back. Wasn't everything meant to be progressing toward a brighter outcome? Weren't you supposed to find a way to rewind time after passing through the gateway? You have already gained the higher power, already learned to manipulate time at a higher level. But why? Why is it still impossible to return to the correct path? The Hetero Tower hears your suffering, and the red tide below surges violently, stirring up a frenzied maelstrom. Calm down. The fissures in the Hetero Tower are growing. The key staff gently taps the void. Ishmael seems about to take action, only to suddenly stop in her tracks. The crystal clusters disintegrate on their own as the raging waters subside. Composed yourself already. Despite being the one just threatened moments ago, Ishmael displays no anger. Instead, she smiles as she descends to face you again. You're quite fast in adapting to your newfound power, Great Raven. Tell me, what must I do to ensure human civilization survives? By exhausting every ounce of will and enduring countless sufferings and battles, all you seek is simply for the spark of human civilization to burn eternally among the sea of stars. First of all, I never fooled you. The woman, always wearing a mysterious smile, shows a serious expression rarely seen. Passing through the gateway and obtaining higher power are indispensable critical steps, both for your current self and for current human civilization. But the Hetero Tower can no longer be used. What matters isn't the Hetero Tower, but you. If you had chosen to merge with the Red Tide at that time, perhaps you could indeed have fused with Chaos there, allowing you to contest authority with Agent Zero. However, a hetero creature has no way to reverse the Red Tide, nor can it ever obtain the power of a higher level than the Punishing Virus. The mutated Red Tide would still harm humanity. Even if you could replace Agent Zero, that would only be the end for you, and for human civilization. A trace of compassionate sorrow shows on her face. So, you never had any other choice from the very beginning. Within your tumultuous mind, you obsessively think over each sentence, every word Ishmael has uttered, desperately searching for contradictions to unveil any deception she might be weaving. Sadly, your all too lucid mind confirms that not a single word she spoke was a lie. But is this truly the end? Such power, such a long life. Will you linger within the Hetero Tower with only the shadows in your mind beacon as companions, enduring an eternal solitary journey until both the past and the future fade into the void? I still want to do something. Facing the hollow Hetero Tower, you let out a hoarse, sorrowful cry. You could also join me in becoming a higher dimensional observer. By crossing the gateway, you have already earned the qualification to become an observer. Observer. Once you become an observer, I'll help you recycle the Hetero Tower and truly obtain the authority of Agent Zero. We will become companions. That's not what I want. I will tell you how to use the Punishing Virus to preserve human civilization in another form. To preserve human civilization? How is that any different from what Agent Zero does? Of course. Because of your existence, the Punishing Virus will not truly harvest this civilization and bring it back behind the gate. You should have seen what lies beyond that gate before. Only consciousness acknowledged by the cosmos may enter. No life can exist here, not even mechanical consciousness. A lonely starship drifts through lifeless space, witnessing countless worlds fall and endless universes being born. Like Amber, your civilization will be truly preserved, and perhaps someday in the future, when you truly harness a power even greater than the current level, the preserved civilization will be able to revive, like embers buried in the ashes. Someday, they will embrace this world once again. The Punishing Virus. The Punishing Virus. Information. Preserve all civilization information with punishing as the medium, waiting for a future restart. What are the chances of success? You expect another ambiguous answer, but this time, Ishmael gives an affirming smile. 100%. How can you be so certain? That's a story for the future. Are there any other paths I can take? If this is all there is, what is the purpose of everything you've done? With the world preserved, the last of humanity will become exiled to the distant depths of space, hopelessly waiting for a future restart. Let me think about this. You wearily search for a place to rest temporarily in the Hetero Tower. Whether to become an observer, or to stay forever in the Hetero Tower, at least for now. All you want is a moment of rest. Maybe upon opening your eyes, you will awaken to find yourself still in the Grey Raven Lounge, realizing that all of this is merely a whimsical dream. Familiar voices would echo from beyond the door. All you need to do is push it open, and Lucia will gaze at you with worry. Liv may offer a cup of steaming tea, and Lily will be seated close by, tending to your sidearm. If you're willing to take a risk... The pink-haired woman's voice emerges somewhat hesitantly from behind. What? If you're willing to take a risk, perhaps there's still another path. You could try to change the past. But the Hetero Tower has already collapsed. But the singularity still exists. The singularity. A singularity that belongs only to you. The muffled sound of waves rises in your mind, and the bottom of the sea, long buried in the clutter of memories, surfaces once more. Wait, you can't be talking about... Indeed. After a moment's contemplation, she extends her hand again, and the weighty tome materializes again. This time, the book appears slightly thinner than before. Is the past disappearing? Yeah. She is likely working hard. Glossing over the topic vaguely, Ishmael opens the book. This time, she candidly spreads the book open before you, inviting you to browse through the chronicles of human civilization together. This page was originally blank. She points to one of the blank paragraphs. But after I saw you and Lucia leave the Hetero Tower, indistinct text appeared here. I once attempted to decipher the content clearly, but sadly, I am merely an insect in the dark forest, unable to delve into the distant future. She frankly acknowledges her own insignificance. After you left the Hetero Tower and met Nanami, the text here became clearer. I saw the bottom of the sea, and I saw you. A human has wandered into an unknown world. You shouldn't be here yet. It's not time, Grey Raven. Hey, Ashfrost! How are you? I hope you're having a good day so far. I just ascended to a higher plane of existence. I found out that you, from that time, were also there. You learned a lot of information from there, didn't you? You offer only a non-committal silence, eagerly looking at what comes next. And after that, comes the moment you pass through the gateway. You finished one of the male torso you were practice sketching and actually made a decent one? Ooh, nice! I'm happy for you. Now you're gonna work on a female torso? Good luck! I hope it goes well. I admire artists like you very much, because I think art like that takes a lot of time and effort. Also, yes, happy Pride. Hi, gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. This week at the Butter Shop, we're having a special deal. If you can prove that you're queer, you can get 3 pints off your choice of chucked or drowned butter. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. We love gay, and it's awesome. We also make candles now. Wouldn't a candle be nice for gay stuff? Whether in the bedroom or just hanging out. Yeah, we wouldn't. Would you? Hey, wouldn't your partner want butter from the original old maid's home? We've been serving all people since 1940. No, we've been making butter since 1945, and we've been serving all people since the last 4 months. So yeah, we are gagging for you to come take a taste of Cecily's Butter Shop at Cecily's Butter Shop. My friend's mom is, I think is gay. So, we think it's cool. Turn it off, Willard. I love that video. You're ready for bisexual slander? Well, I will not be slandering the bisexuals. I will be welcoming the bisexuals tenderly. Bisexuals are welcome here. Crimson gold text coils into a track of destiny, with the final option urgently squeezing itself from the page. Commandant, return to the bottom of the sea. You read aloud the cryptic, blurred text from the book, word by word. The moment this sentence leaves your lips, something in the void, akin to a massive barrier, shatters in silence. This was the catalyst that led me back to Earth, when everything seemed over. It's also a miracle that belongs only to your kind. It's Lucia. It's Nanami. It's the persistence of everyone with a shared heart and mind. They have brewed fear, yet forged hope. Their voices have merged, kindling the embers of civilization, sparking fiery flames within the galaxy of historical archives, breaching illusions of time and space, and seizing the signposts that point the way to the future. But this is no different from what Vonnegut asked me to do. Of course it's different. What he wanted was for you to become his qualified key. If your past self had returned to the cradle of the deep blue, Adilla would have hatched nothing but a key, entirely according to Vonnegut's wishes. Chaos would have completely become his puppet. She would have contained the red tide within the ocean as Vonnegut desired, yet Agent Zero's will would still have eventually consumed Chaos's consciousness. This isn't fundamentally different from what you could accomplish by jumping into the red tide at that time. Now, she flips through the tome. If your current self were to return to that undersea cradle, Adilla could hatch chaos in her complete form. The complete chaos would possess absolute power, capable of defeating Cradle. If you could fully control the Hetero Tower before it becomes damaged, perhaps you could truly fulfill the wish you've been hoping for. Pull the timeline back to the day before the Hetero Tower's arrival. Huh. I'm not sure I understand what I'm doing here. But I guess I'm gonna do it. Gravekeeper. Human civilization has been branded with the punishing virus. Whether you choose me or return to the sea, nothing could be worse than it is now. Pull the timeline back to the day before the Hetero Tower's arrival. All else fades into insignificance, as this single fragment of knowledge is etched indelibly into your consciousness. Is that true? As if a person in prolonged drought spotting an oasis, conflicting emotions of exhilaration and apprehension violently tear at your thoughts. You are thrilled by the new possibility, yet deep in fear simultaneously. Is any of this truly achievable? I have no reason to fool you. But what will happen after the timeline is pulled back? What do you mean? Those born during the past 30 years. What will become of them? Those destined to meet will naturally find each other, and those destined to be born will naturally come into existence. However, they won't be born into a time of pure darkness. Without light, without hope, filled with suffering and the sorrow of separation. If you succeed, they will be born under the warmth of sunlight. Perhaps becoming a valiant soldier on Babylonia, or perhaps working in a conservation area. They deserve a better tomorrow. What is destined will not change, but all of that solely relies on your success. Even at a time like this, you are still concerned about people who have nothing to do with you. This is indeed a new story I wish to witness. Still, are you truly willing to take such a risk? The impulsive surge of determination gradually cools, as an inexplicable chill creeps back into your bones, forming crystals of doubt and twig. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and certainly no benefits without cost. If I choose this path, what price will I have to pay? Is it I who must pay the price, or must humanity bear an even greater cost? To be precise, the risks are manifold, and the price won't be yours alone to pay. I have never witnessed such a possibility before, so I cannot predict what consequences this action might bring. As a friend, I would not advise you to take such a gamble. It is an extremely risky option. The smile on Ishmael's face fades as she regards you with a grave expression. One small misstep, and you'll become the Commandant who truly died at the bottom of the sea. The Commandant who died at the bottom of the sea. 931206. Does that ring a bell? Waves crashed against the shore as the clamor of torrential rain shattered the water's surface to spray. The lone mermaid clutched the egg to her chest, gazing anxiously at the human on the water's surface. You told me about this. Well, another you, that is. One of the clones of the Grey Raven Commandant died in the accident. Never have you imagined a day when the one who died would become your true self. It is true death. She gazes compassionately toward an unknown direction. If chaos fails to be hatched successfully, you will truly die in this incident. If the singularity cannot be changed, the world will fall together into this endless time loop. If too many unknowns fill this uncharted path, it can't even be called a path, rather a wilderness overgrown with thorns. And who can guarantee that thorns watered with blood will truly bloom into roses? As a friend, I advise against choosing this path. Unknown whirlpools lurk within this option, A single misstep could lead you, and perhaps even the entire civilization, into an eternal cycle of time. I understand. Ice splinters surge wildly through the crevices of your bones, growing in tumultuous formations. Give hope, only to shatter it again. Nothing could be more cruel than this. A bright red apple hangs high on a precariously fragile branch, while a starving person sits right beneath, but is forever unable to grasp its succulent promise. I still hope you can join me. Ishmael extends her hand toward you. Join me, and become a higher dimensional observer. But your civilization, right? The Hetero Tower rotates silently, its endless staircases spiraling toward the heavens. A door engraved with a familiar symbol quietly opens wide before you. Bizarre, otherworldly curves form strange colored buildings, while colossal sculptures stand at the city's heart. The skyline extends infinitely, merging with planets and stars arranged in peculiar constellations, with a dark sun suspended at the center of the sky. Here. This is my civilization. Amber. The city's time seems frozen at a specific moment. Yes, Amber. I sealed them within this space with my own hands. One day, they will embrace this world again. At least they won't be easily eliminated by higher dimensional beings like other harvested civilizations. The vision lasts only a moment before dispersing like grains of sand. Ishmael looks at you, seemingly waiting for you to make the final decision. Observer, or greater risk? Should you let human civilization congeal in place to await salvation in the distant future? Or should you choose a desperate struggle for a new possibility? Can you truly make such a choice in humanity's stead? The Hetero Tower looms hollow and vacant, with white fog meandering like phantoms through seemingly infinite corridors. If you end up choosing the greater risk and return to the bottom of the sea, a single misstep could plunge all of human civilization into a vortex of time. What should I do? Your fingertips tremble uncontrollably as a cold sense of isolation crawls up your spine. There's no need to be so anxious. Tentatively, Ishmael offers a comforting pat on your shoulder. This may not be much comfort, but if you choose nothing and just sit here, it won't change anything. You have already seen it, the ending of it all. Within the expansive corridor, her voice carries a certain enchantment, soothing your frayed nerves in a gentle yet peculiar manner. Human civilization has been branded with the punishing virus. Whether you choose me or return to the sea, nothing could be worse than it is now. Or rather, having this thread of hope now, having these choices at all, is already the fruit of your efforts. Thank you. As your taut nerves momentarily unwind, your brain begins rapidly processing thoughts. The punishing virus has already marked human civilization, meaning that no matter what action you take, it's already the optimal solution in this ending of inevitable doom. Then before I make my choice, I'd like to ask a favor of you. Please, go ahead. Ishmael seems consistently tolerant and gentle toward your bold requests. No matter which path I choose, Could you take all the research data from Aerospace City from before I entered the tower and give it all to that Nanami in deep space? You want me to give all of Aerospace City's research data to that administrator behind the gate? That's right. Nanami. She will certainly understand your intention. Even if you end up trapped in a time loop, when she sees your last will in the analytical data on the Hetero Tower's core, Nanami will surely know what you want to do. Another little contingency plan from Grey Raven, I suppose. She gives a knowing smile. It's just a precaution. Can you make those happen? Of course. This isn't a particularly difficult thing to do. Ishmael readily agrees to your request. And then... have you made your decision? I know I said this already, but I really love this music. This song is so cool. I need some more time. You have plenty of time. Should you join Ishmael to become a higher dimensional observer, or take an enormous risk and return to the sea? Becoming an observer means that human civilization will be preserved, yet trapped eternally in stasis, with the information composed of the punishing virus. Like a piece of amber, forever congealed in that moment, waiting for a miracle that may or may not arrive. Returning to the sea means that you must carve a bloody path through a thorn-covered wilderness, all by yourself. But if you ever succeed, human civilization will have a chance to start anew. So, I've made my decision. Ishmael looks at you with anticipation. Whichever ending you choose, I will spare no effort to help you. This is my promise. Go ahead. What's your decision? Okay, so we have another alternate ending. So let's go through that one first. I had a feeling that choosing to return to the sea would be, like, the correct answer. But let's see what happens if I choose to become an observer. I knew you would make this choice. This is the best ending. Is being an observer truly the final destination of the cosmos? Of course not. This sea of stars is immeasurably vast, and I am but an insect in the dark forest. In a finite life, one cannot explore an infinite future. Opting to be an observer marks just the first step in ascending the staircase. Ishmael faces you, gesturing for you to take her hand. Once you take the first step, the gate of the stellar sea will open for you. As the swirling stars shimmer across the sky, tumultuous whispers caress your ear. In that fleeting moment, tens of thousands of secrets puncture your consciousness, flooding your mind like a sudden enlightenment. As if repeatedly hammered and forged, your will rapidly expands, neural pathways stretching in all directions, enveloping the Hetero Tower like a spider's web, spreading beyond its confines. No, don't! A piercing shriek echoes through the mud-mired Babylonia. Paradise. Let us enter paradise together. Dreamlike, fragmented whispers quietly echo through Aerospace City. The humans, your thoughts, stretch on without limit. The red tide suddenly ebbs. A forest bursts forth from the earth, and the human beast howls in terror while fleeing from the devouring woods. The human soldier sits in a daze at the street corner, holding tightly to the red scarf once worn by their deceased family. Amidst the mournful wails of summer insects, the human ant scurries after their companions in search of a new nest. The human flower slowly withers in the gloomy rain. The human commandant sees everything in the world at that moment. Be careful. You have just received the knowledge. Your power might go haywire. Guided by Ishmael's voice, your consciousness suddenly rushes back, bringing a tearing pain that splits through your brain. What did you see? She inquires with perfect composure. I saw death. In that moment, you saw Babylonia wander through the distant depths of space, until after countless nights and days, the punishing virus finally caught up to them. Higher dimensional beings never spare any civilization that should be recycled. In that moment, you saw humanity struggle desperately on the surface, and the birth of a new Agent Zero. Humanity huddled within Aerospace City, their development stagnant, eventually entering the Red Tide's paradise. Ending High Wall, ending Tomorrow, ending Catastrophe, ending Red Tide, ending Everwinter, ending Future. In that moment, you saw countless endings for Earth, and countless endings for human civilization. Yeah, those are the endings they have predetermined. After listening to your flustered description, Ishmael speaks with clear understanding. You keenly notice the specific word Ishmael is using. Shh! They are higher-level beings who monitor the laws of this stellar sea and establish the rules that govern existence. Everything is predetermined. Ishmael raises her palm, calling forth her key staff into her hand. The white fog within the Hetero Tower silently disperses, unveiling a vast and dark universe beyond the limitless space. Stars gleam with brilliant radiance, their trajectories, like all else, predetermined eons past. They administer tests, establish rules, and filter out civilizations they deem correct. Only by passing their test can one obtain a ticket to journey into the stellar sea. Eerie nebulae flicker both within and beyond the Hetero Tower, as numerous eyeballs lurk behind dense star clusters, silently watching over this realm. Do you see it now? I cannot help you restart your civilization. And this is the most fundamental reason. So, even as an observer, I have no way to use higher dimensional power to directly solve Earth's problems. Right. Even as an observer, you still lack the necessary authority and power to initiate a full restart. The Hetero Tower now spans from heaven to earth. The slightest misstep would cause an irreversible collapse. Her voice remains calm and rational, as if she has experienced the same scenario countless times before. All you can do is hide your civilization away from their sight. Just like Amber, seal away the entire civilization using the punishing virus, and silently wait for life to be revitalized once more. What exactly is the punishing virus? The punishing virus is the greatest deception of all. I was naive to believe that mastering it alone would suffice to pass their test. Yet, while flames bring light, they can also scorch all to ashes, becoming dew. Whether it is right or wrong, and who should be the one defining it all? If it can be them, why not us? An indescribable fire ignites in the pink-haired woman's eyes. Come, join me. She clasps your fingers, teaching you how to manipulate that catastrophic power. Countless threads emerge from within and beyond the Hetera Tower, slowly intertwining to form a massive cocoon. The world gradually loses its original form, as all information becomes entangled and all assigned concepts are stripped away. The world reveals its primordial form. The cocoon smolders slowly, as the magma at Earth's core throbs like a beating heart, gradually ceasing to breathe. Everything sinks into everlasting stasis. Is this what your civilization looks like? In the sky, molten lava engulfs everything that exists, as the punishing virus seals all information within it. You encase all information within the heart, with your own hands. Through this act, you can still sense, though faintly, a trace of life persisting within. At this moment, all of human civilization is reduced to a lone person. They will exist forever. Ishmael gently places a hand on your chest. Now, leave everything to the future. Someday, when we can rewrite the rules, when we can reshape time, when we stand in a higher future, the sealed amber will awaken once more. The embers hidden in the hearth will eventually burn again. But before that, like pursuing a mirage whose location remains elusive, the observers shall drift amid the expanse of stars and deep cosmos, endlessly searching for that unknown future. Humanity's ending, gravekeeper of civilization. Here, human civilization stalls. Alright, now we go for the good choice. We're making good choices. Let's go make a good choice. Which is, ironically, the very risky choice. I love this song so much. It's so cool. I know I already said that, but I do like it a lot. Like, I just think it really suits, like, Ishmael and the idea of, like, being a higher dimensional being really well. Like, there's just something weird about it, you know? Okay. Go ahead. What's your decision? I choose to return to the sea. Are you sure you want to choose this path? I must remind you once more, I have never witnessed such a future before. It's precisely because you've never seen it before that it holds greater promise. All known roads lead to failure, so why can't the untrodden wilderness become a new path? The greater the risk, the greater the potential reward. Besides, there couldn't possibly be a worse outcome than this. Even if you were to become an observer, as Ishmael suggested, what's the difference between preservation and an eternal loop? Amber will not continue to flow, and the insect trapped within it are no different from the truly dead. A fragment of survival and a shard of hope. They're perfectly equal. Should you bear that burden of civilization alone, seeking an unpredictable future? Or should you throw yourself into the fray for one desperate final strike? If human civilization is destined to be harvested, and the ending has already been written, then why not choose to destroy it all and seek the final answer? The direst outcome would simply be you, along with all of human civilization, being dragged into the abyss. I don't want to shoulder the burden of an entire civilization alone, searching for an answer I cannot see. But that way, at least they would all still be alive. I also have no right to choose for them, to force their survival in such a state. So, I choose to return to the bottom of the sea. Even if you might truly die there. Even if I might truly die there. As long as there's even a sliver of hope to grasp. Even if the entire world might fall into an eternal loop. Even if the entire world might fall into an eternal loop. If death is already predestined, then any struggle you can still attempt now might pave the path toward a new answer. You really are something else, Grey Raven. Her voice carries a gentle nostalgia, as if reminiscing about someone from the past. Before you can raise any questions, Ishmael has already reopened the weighty tome. On the aged paper, the option formed by the crimson gold lines floats crookedly, emitting a shimmering glow. I have never witnessed such a story. One that can exist beyond predetermined endings, breaking free from constraints, giving rise to a new choice. Perhaps this itself is a form of miracle. It is a miracle, yet it is not. It is the sliver of hope unleashed by Lucia when she slashed through the confinement of the Hetero Tower. It is the endeavor of Nanami, who has journeyed through the vast expanse of stars only to capture the sole truth hidden in the depths of space. It is the fiery flame kindled by the will of countless people that has ultimately sparked the threads woven by fate, shattering predetermined constraints and illuminating the darkest corners. It is a miracle, yet it is not. United in purpose, they have seared out a new possibility for humanity's future in the annals of time. I see. How perilous it is that human civilization has managed to advance this far. Then, let us see how this new story unfolds. The pages flutter wildly as crimson gold lines twist themselves into strange characters. I can help you return to the bottom of the sea. You will go back to the cradle there, enter Cathilla's egg, and be hatched as the true Chaos. And what about me? Your sight will become one with Chaos. You are the true Chaos. A complete Chaos wields absolute power. After defeating Cradle, you may fully harness the power of the Hetero Tower before it sustains damage. But I must remind you once again, I have never witnessed this future. Which is precisely why it holds greater promise. All futures observed by Ishmael must have already been watched by them, those beings Ishmael has mentioned. Under such circumstances, a desperate gamble may well be the right path. But how can I ensure chaos won't fall under Vonnegut's control? Because you will become the true chaos. She turns her gaze toward you, a peculiar smile playing across her lips. You've glimpsed those visions before, haven't you? I'm not certain where your power originates from, but you are you. When you become the true chaos, you will reign over everything within chaos. I am chaos. Your sight will transcend chaos. Your sight will exist beyond just this realm, preventing Vonnegut from manipulating your thoughts. Seeming to sense your lingering doubts, Ishmael pauses in thought before continuing. Besides, everything has already changed. I've read that ending where you accepted Vonnegut's suggestion and merged with chaos inside the tower. What happened in that ending? In that ending, a crimson projection flows slowly before you. Everything beyond Earth falls under Vonnegut's control. He drives the red tide into the sea according to his design, forming what he deems a nation. But things don't unfold as simply as Vonnegut has imagined. He fails to leave Earth through the gateway. The red tide overflowing from the Hetero Tower grows increasingly powerful, as the hunger of the punishing virus knows no bounds. Eventually, chaos becomes a vessel driven by the will of the red tide. Humans striving to reclaim their home are woven into grotesque forms by the red tide, while Vonnegut and humans of the other nation remain trapped on the surface, locked in an eternal conflict. A few sparse images sketch the outline of another hellish fate. Vonnegut fails to resist Agent Zero as he had planned, never reaching the future he has longed for. This is the ending that has already been written. She answers softly. Every point of divergence hinges upon you, Great Raven. The ending that entails the red tide influx will never come after you become chaos, because you have already left the Hetero Tower. This alone represents a future that neither Gestalt, Huashu, nor even I have ever foreseen, despite our exhaustive calculations. That's good to hear. To send me back to the sea, is there anything else we need to prepare? Hearing the urgency in your voice, Ishmael falls silent for a moment before speaking again. I cannot foresee whether this operation will succeed, and even I find myself no longer able to predict what will happen next, limited by my own immersion in the situation. Her key staff arcs through the air, and a door shimmering with otherworldly colors slowly emerges. If on this journey you fail to stop it all, it will only take the slightest misstep to bring about true death. All of this will inevitably become a closed loop, trapping you forever in the ending of the Cradle of the Deep Blue. There will be no escape. You will die again and again in the Cradle. I understand. How many times has it been now? How many times you have struggled from despair toward hope, only to be cast into the abyss just as hope begins to sprout? The sacrificed lives accumulate like grains of sand in an hourglass, numerous arms reaching out to lift you from the abyss of fate. I will return to the bottom of the sea. toward that unpredictable future. If this is to be your end, then you shall pay with your life to kindle a faint light for human civilization, gambling on that sliver of distant hope. For humanity. I shall shatter the pallid veil of time and burn through the rotting path of fate. I shall traverse myriad sufferings and the darkest of nights. I shall fight with all my might to steal a flame. I shall bring forth the true dawn for humanity. Yay! Let's bring forth the true dawn for humanity! Woohoo! Let's do it. One second. Yep. Hang on, I just want to check something quickly. Okay. Ah! I didn't mean to do that. Okay. At the cost of life, we will seek our path, even at the cost of everything. Let's go! We've got one achievement. Consciousness drowns at the bottom of the sea. Listen to the echoes within the chief's consciousness. An illusion, drawing indefinitely close to death, grips your senses and nerves. A mournful buzzing echoes through the dark depths of the sea. April 1st, April Fool's Day. Fate has decided to crack a cruel joke. The Grey Raven Commandant has vanished. The transport craft back to Babylonia got ambushed. All emergency items got wrecked, and even the parachutes turned out to have massive holes, only spotted once they were open. Thus, with a mere splash, this humanity's hero, lauded by all, plummeted into a corrupted river. What time is it now? It's the afternoon of May 10th. 1 month after you fell from the transport craft into the red tide. The shuttle of fate weaves, intertwining blurred fragments of time with a rusty needle, stitching them together one by one. You finally wake up from a prolonged coma. Blurry memories extend in sequence. Sorry. Sorry, I just wanted to check something. I'm fine. Blurry memories extend in sequence. Right. To become a new breed of human, rising above death's grip. It's a shame. If only you could become a construct, things would be smoother sailing. But it's okay. We've got a plan B. This potion is one of our research results. Needs a jab every day. One last shot, and you'll score adaptability. Once you've got this adaptability, you'll be more in tune with Cthulhu, more wholly embraced by her. What a surprise, finding the Grey Raven Commandant here in this shithole. I think maybe we should try to escape first. Welcome back. You have 27 offline messages. Would you like to play them?
We're all looking for you, Commandant. No matter where you are now, please, don't give up hope.
Our top priority now is to find where Lithos stores the mines. Only by killing him can we escape. Voodoo 001. The experiment was a success. She became Loki's new vessel, the host of all her uncontrollable emotions. This method can definitely be used to awaken Cthulhu, where her consciousness also suffers from similar flaws. And your weary mind struggles to recollect more memories. To hell with philosophical questions. Who cares if it's the real me or not? I'm the one out of the two who's conscious now. One who can make decisions. What does that tell you? It tells me that I'm the real one at this current moment, and nothing else matters. Commandant, get behind me! Might as well take a step forward if I'm going to end up regretting it anyway. After the final shot, you will only have 48 hours left. Even if you make it back to Babylonia, they might not have the tech to save you. She'd probably end up becoming an even more powerful magical girl if she managed to hatch from the egg. And after that... T-minus 13 hours. Cold droplets fall onto your face, jolting you awake from the depths of your dream. As Ishmael promised, your consciousness has landed in the cradle of the deep blue. Such an ingenious deception that even the higher dimensional beings among the stars of deep space cannot distinguish truth from falsehood. Having endured countless torments, with skin already festering, this body is on the brink of total corruption by the punishing virus, soon to succumb to Cthulhu's embrace, just as Lithos foretold. Lamia, having recovered Shorthalt's name tag, crouches down beside you, her face etched with sorrow. I've placed some protective barriers beneath you. This place is back to being the hetero creature it was, and is dangerous to humans. There were more things holding Cthulhu in place than I thought, though it took me quite some time to break them. But it all worked. We're leaving the seabed now, and will soon reach the sea surface. Hang in there. We're almost there. She looks at you with a woeful gaze, hesitating, unsure whether to hold your hands. Yes, I know. Agonizing pain rips through your mind, as if something has exploded within, while the sound of rushing water engulfs the entire world, a deluge cascading down. Is it because you are too tired? Specks of light, mingled with fragmented memories, flicker before your eyes. I'm hanging in here for people who are waiting for me. Just how long has it been already? Blurred time pulses repeatedly across your retinas. Something seems about to awaken within your brain. It's been about over 10 hours. No, I mean, how long have they been waiting for me? Faced with this question, Lamia blinks her eyes in bewilderment. What's the date now? My terminal still worked when we first fell in here. I guess it's probably March 30th or 31st, taking into account how long we've been spending in here. Huh? Huh? I mean, it could be either March 30th or 31st now. Are you sure? Your consciousness sinks into a solitary island as thunder crashes into the abyss deeper than 5,000 meters. It's April Fool's Day. What should we get you this year, Commandant? April 1st. April Fool's Day. What time is it now? It's the afternoon of May 10th, 1 month after you fell from the transport craft into the red tide. Torrential rain cascades over your mind, as if a floodgate within your consciousness has been opened, unleashing a deluge of peculiar memories to surge into your brain. No, rather than memories surging into your mind, it's more like you have remembered all of the past. The Dark Star. The Hetero Tower. The Red Tide. Golden Age. Cold sweat soaks through your nearly completely rotten skin, the salty moisture stinging the flesh already festering from the corruption of the punishing virus. I went missing on April 1st. Then, let it be here. Just a small trick is all it takes. She guides the Grey Raven Commandant's gaze toward this moment, feeling away your memories until the right time. So this is what that was all about. Can you see beyond the ordinary world, like me? Is all that's left here just a projection, like me? It all makes sense now. The gaze from the dream looks down from a higher plane, as experiences, your own, or perhaps not, pass before your eyes. Some peaceful, some agonizing, some joyous, and some sorrowful. Who else am I, if I am not myself? It's always just me. There has never been any other. What did you say? The constraints of rules impose upon you, only allowing fragmented words to escape your lips. They aren't coming. But I, Grey Raven Commandant, will eventually return to this sea. No one is coming to stop Cthulhu. But I, Grey Raven Commandant, will use my body as a shield to thwart their schemes. Lamia cannot hear your inner cry. But this makes no sense at all. You're supposed to be indispensable to Babylonia. She extends her hand sorrowfully toward you. I can't believe they abandoned you just like that. No, I haven't been abandoned. Blood trickles from the corner of your lips, mixing with your festering skin. Words of truth are uttered aloud, yet Lamia appears unable to perceive the voice. From the corner blocked by the rules, your sight continues to extend, just like in all your past dreams, reaching farther and farther places. A massive whale bellows in sorrow, while the roots of a peculiar colossal tree delve deep into this eerily shaped coffin. At least, struggle until the very end. The dream suddenly plunges downward as Lamia's sorrowful voice reaches your ears. But why does it have to end this way? But I thought you were super lucky and invincible, like the heroes from those stories. So why? Why does it have to be here of all places? Because words painfully tear through your lips. Death is not the end. Lamia freezes momentarily. She can sense something is different in you, but she cannot determine exactly what has happened. Last but not least, the red sludge churns and envelops the last human. April 1st, dawn has arrived. We will continue to search for our path even in death, marching in the parade as corpses.
New choices will bring unexpected changes, won't they? If that person is you. It's already started hatching. Let me ensure her safe birth. This shouldn't be considered overstepping.
Finally get to play as Ishmael! So the kind of interesting thing about Ishmael is that a lot of her attacks are actually performed through dodging.
Or would you like to see something beyond your scope of knowledge? I will go first. Like always, it's just a small gift. I will go first. Embrace it. This is the miracle you have been waiting for. It's just a small gift. Embrace it. This is the miracle you have been waiting for. We gave it another try, and it seems like nothing has changed.
Her attacks are just so cool.
Not good. Not bad. So, would you like to see something beyond your scope of knowledge? It's just a small gift.
I love the flick attack. And you can see she's got a second form. Like parts of her look like they become kind of glassy. She loses the halo for a crown. It's interesting. I think she's a really cool character.
Are there other guests? Perhaps this way I can save some energy. Boring. Embrace it. This is the miracle you have been. We gave it another try, and it seems like nothing has changed. Don't blink. Not bad. Would you like to see something beyond your scope of knowledge? Not this. I will go first. Like always, it's just a small gift. Embrace it. This is the miracle you have been waiting for. Is it time?
Commandant!
You're the only human who
I
would do
promise to
this.
keep you safe.
You are the
A
optimum
promise is a
fusion.
promise.
Let's continue our relationship.
I'll be here
been
until
gone a
I
long
see you
time.
again.
It seems it's not time for maturity yet.
Ooh. Alright. So, I've gone back in time into the body of my dying clone. And I guess now I'm gonna try to become Chaos's primary consciousness. I think I'm gonna be right back. I do want to get a sweatshirt again. It's chilly again. It's still been stormy today. So I'll be right back. Right, thank you for being patient. I'm back now. Okay. Dangerous place. Even though people seek their path through death, a part of them still hopes to endure life and see tomorrow. The first day at FOS. The campus is adorned with welcome projections, while the school anthem drifts through the air above the auditorium. Hey, hello there! Is this your first day at FOS? Here's the enrollment form. Make sure to fill it out using your terminal. I understand. It's Vanessa! The girl with purple eyes impatiently takes the form and turns to leave. Oh, hello there. You're also a freshman, right? Yes. Here's the enrollment form. Make sure to fill it out using your terminal. After briefly pointing out a few things to note on the form, the senior student walks away. Enrollment, registration form. For some reason, everything before your eyes becomes blurry. The surrounding laughter and bustling chatter slowly dissipate. In a daze, the campus scenery somehow overlaps with an unfamiliar structure where white fog fills the air, and crimson crystals resonate with a distinct metallic sound. You rub your eyes. Perhaps due to excitement keeping you from sleeping well last night, your eyes feel a bit strained. But it should be nothing serious. I must be too nervous. Hello, do you need any help? I just noticed you seemed a bit out of it. I'm fine, thank you. Receiving your reassuring response, the senior student moves on to another freshman who appears to need help. FOS Military Command College enrollment form. Name: Luke. Gender: man. Student ID: Student ID. You think it was noted on the folder of your examination report. Where did you put that folder again? The corner of a worn folder peeks out from your backpack. Excuse me. The girl rushing to submit her enrollment form accidentally bumps into your shoulder. You lose grip of the folder, and the report pages are scattered across the ground by a mysterious gust of wind. In the upper right corner of the report, a handwritten code catches your attention. 931206. Why would there be a handwritten code? The deliberately stretched 9 drags behind it a long trail like some kind of scar, as everything fades back into silence. A roar of thunder blasts in the air. Oh. In the pitch-black, damp environment, a steady heartbeat pulses in your ears. This is chaos. Memories resurface in a dizzying carousel, as chaos seems to undergo an excruciating process of being shattered and reconstructed. Your gaze clings to her consciousness as fleeing footsteps gradually quicken. Hello, my name is Lucia. My frame designation is BPL-01, Lotus, and I'm also the team leader of Grey Raven. I look forward to working with you. My name is Lee, designation BPN-06, Palefire. My original team is not important. I've been assigned to Grey Raven. Dual guns are my weapons of choice. I am equally adept at strategic planning and close combat. My turn. My name is Liv, support construct. I came from Egret. My preferred weapons are levitated weapons platforms. I look forward to working together. This was the new Grey Raven. At times, its memories belong to Grey Raven. At others, it's... You're going to the youth center again next month? You've been on quite a few missions lately. Maybe you should take some proper rest. After all these years, that child must be all grown up by now. Project Cathilla? What's so important about a crazy project that was terminated long ago? The small purple ascendant didn't off me, just chopped me up and dumped me in a heap of rubble. Or perhaps it's... my dream. That future we wanted is right there beyond the seemingly infinite darkness. Hope will triumph and fulfill its dream. You remember the name Noen, but not this incident? There's another real me in Babylonia, right? Grey Raven Commandant? And this is not my will alone. This is the will of civilization. The fragmented illusions are endlessly shattered and reconstructed as chaotic memories continuously appear and vanish within the egg. The pain, mercifully enveloped, hatches once more. And this story has quietly changed the ending of fate. It's been so long since I've done something this adventurous. The simple delight of pulling off this clever deception briefly fills her consciousness, creating a ripple in her long, monotonous life. And now, the book pages open gently, turning to the page marked with a giant whale. It's almost time. Her index finger glides across the book, where crimson gold threads twist and writhe. Time silently leaps to April 1st. Vonnegut never makes just one plan. On the book's projection, a gradually sprouting sapling is deeply rooted in the red tide. The shrewd agent, like a cunning rabbit with multiple burrows, has already set up a new tree of life in another area. The small tree of life emits an eerie red glow in the dim base, a crimson egg slowly pulsating within its embrace. He hasn't noticed that the consciousness within has already been replaced, and the gaze of Grey Raven is now attached to the yet-to-hatch chaos. After that, the undersea cradle is thrown into chaos as a giant whale leaps from the water's surface. What a captivating story. With great interest and a hint of anticipation, she turns her gaze back to the book. Can you really find the key to breaking this closed loop? This crimson egg once again pulsates with the rhythm of life. The ending of the story has already been changed. The parade beneath the sea is never meant solely for the abandoned. We will continue to search for our path, even in death. But what we truly desire is to endure life and see tomorrow. Death is not the end. At the end of death lies the tomorrow of hope. The torch will inevitably be rekindled, and the Grey Raven emblem will once again shine beneath the brilliant sunlight. Born again. Her completeness is beyond my imagination. Perhaps something unexpected has happened. Ah, I clicked wrong. A woman draped in a pristine white cloak walks into the dimly lit base. It's been a while. Her gaze falls upon the red egg placed beneath the small tree of life. Forgive my uninvited appearance. You've obtained the key, haven't you? Yes, she's about to hatch. The spindle-shaped egg pulsates slowly, beating like a human heart. So, the key. Would it be safe to see it as that commandant's daughter? I'd say the key is more like the actual commandant. The introduction didn't go well. Memories and consciousness aren't entirely complete. I saw several shards that belong to others. Perhaps it could already be considered a complete return ticket. The man lets out a soft sigh, seemingly dissatisfied with the current state of things. Why did you choose this commandant, when anyone with a stable mind can be the core of the key? Her question seems directed at more than just Vonnegut. I need someone who understands the cost of power. The key isn't just a tool. She possesses her own consciousness. Having to go down the same path again and again is torturing, and few have what it takes to stand that. Most people use this power to satisfy their own desires, once they realize what they're capable of. And we both know what can happen when that happens. He also turns his gaze toward the pulsating egg. Only this commandant has what it takes to become the perfect key. Unfortunately, making the real commandant serve as the key is no simple task. And besides, the agent lowers his head, staring at his palm. Throughout countless cycles, He has made desperate attempts before, but the results always fell short of expectations. I've tried using the real Commandant as the key, but the results were less than ideal. What I need is Future, not playing along with their happy ending charade. Oh. I wish the best of luck to you and your new key with passing through the door. Sensing Vonnegut's penetrating gaze, Ishmael offers an intentionally ambiguous explanation. I don't wish for these developments to be erased. What I truly look forward to is witnessing the rules being shattered. So, I won't obstruct your actions, whether you're Ascendants or humans. If you're referring to the struggle between humans and the punishing virus, I don't really care which side emerges victorious. You're far less interesting than when you were still alive, Professor. So much so that I barely recognize you now. Are you still merging with those voices? He instinctively touches his mask, pauses, and tacitly acknowledges the statement. You are nearly forgetting who you are. You might be able to get out of the closed loop of time now, but you're no longer the same person that you were. Even if you obtain the key, have you envisioned your ending? Ishmael studies the agent with an inquisitive gaze. That doesn't matter. The man's voice remains composed, unfazed by Ishmael's brief dismissal. Regardless of the outcome, the path is exactly the one I set out to take. And it won't be so uninteresting for you either, right? The two both fall silent, no longer conversing. The egg's heartbeat grows increasingly rapid, like a nestling unable to break through its shell, restless, struggling to find its way out. Unable to find herself. She sweeps her cloak aside and holds the egg in her arms. Should we give her a name? Giving her an identity, providing information. It can help her hatch sooner. How about... She gives a peculiar smile. We call her Luke. Tiny cracks appear on the egg's shell. That's a terrible joke, madam. The dark figure stares at the egg about to hatch, briefly lost in thought. Chaos. Let's stick with that for the time being, until she names herself. In silence, the shell of the egg gradually cracks. It's here, I see. She seems to hear something, giving a knowing smile. I see. Within the small tree of life, the hetero creature slowly opens her eyes. So this is your choice. The agent gazes at the hatched hetero creature, seemingly lost in thought. What's wrong? Not happy with it? Isn't this the result you wanted? Lifting the young hetero creature from the now shattered egg, Ishmael gently wraps her in her cloak. This is quite unexpected. Chaos before him is clearly more complete than he anticipated. Vonnegut remains silent, unsure whether this development is beneficial or detrimental to his plan. Hi, Koharu. How are you? I hope you're having a good day. Are you asking about them being Asian gays? Who's they? Who's them? Oh, so happy Pride Month. You're still breathing? That's good. It would be bad if you were not breathing. A stable consciousness is certainly better than an unstable one. The key is quite complete. Perhaps she can truly become a nearly perfect return ticket. Gazing down at Chaos in her arms, Ishmael gently brushes the hair on the little hetero creature's forehead. Since the result meets your expectations, would you mind sharing what your original plan was? No emotion visible in his golden eyes, Vonnegut pauses for a moment before slowly speaking. I will take Chaos into the Hetero Tower. He searches repeatedly through his memories, looking for the corresponding plan. Dominic's plan is a pipe dream. You and I both know that the contaminating mimetic could never be truly sealed away. Only by addressing the problem from its source can we truly break everything apart. After you enter the Hetero Tower, then what? I'm not sure either. You won't tell me what the current situation is inside the Hetero Tower, will you? Ishmael makes a polite sound of acknowledgement. I'm sorry, but I indeed cannot. The interior of the Hetero Tower is too chaotic. After it was twisted by that construct, I can no longer fathom what exactly has happened in there. It could be the entangled Golden Age, or maybe a space submerged by the red tide. Or even... he might come face to face with visitors from a new civilization after entering. But in any case, the key is more complete now, which is at least something positive. She attempts to hand Chaos over to Vonnegut, but the pale doll instinctively furrows her brow the moment she sees him. Handing Chaos along with the cloak to Vonnegut, Ishmael softly chuckles. A nearly perfect return ticket. Perhaps this time you'll succeed. Taking the fragile doll, Vonnegut bows his head, gazing at this key hatched from the culmination of all his power. She represents more than just success in a single gambit. She is also the pass that determines whether he can completely break free from the time loop. He has walked alone in this closed loop for too long. So long that he has forgotten who he was at the very beginning. How long has it been now? Do you need me to tell you the exact figures? No, thank you. I don't actually want to know. Gazing at the doll in his hands, for the first time in a long while, he recalls memories from the distant past, without consulting his notebook. If he can really make it this time, maybe then he can finally return to the place he once called home, rediscovering the path that is truly his own. He has grown weary of failure, and refuses to fail again. Time's almost up. And now that I've learned your choice, this is farewell. Just as suddenly as she appeared, Ishmael quietly vanishes once more. Sometime later, Lithos enters through the doorway and shakes his head at Vonnegut. Mister? I didn't see how the lady left. Yeah. He is not surprised by this result. She has hatched. Lithos notices the hetero creature in the man's hands and cautiously attempts to approach. Her name is Chaos. Chaos? The pale doll stares indifferently at the agent before her. Your name is Chaos. Vonnegut addresses the petite doll with noticeable awkwardness. Is that consciousness still inside her, mister? I'm not sure. The agent lets out a sigh. Her completeness is beyond my imagination. Probably something unexpected has happened. But the breeding process was complete, with no abnormal data detected. Lithos stares fixedly at Chaos in the agent's arms. She is the child that hatched from that egg. Maybe it happened somewhere beyond our notice. His deep golden eyes study the petite hetero creature. Tell me, who are you? The gaze higher than Chaos observes everything here. Strange shadows whisper in the corners, their chaotic murmurs constantly pouring into the mind. Chaos, hetero creature, egg. Fragments of memories slowly resurface, unveiling the world like silk unwinding from a cocoon, revealing everything once more before you. Just as Ishmael said, Vonnegut cannot fully control Chaos's will. Everything about her seems to be under your control. Or rather, you are you. When you become the true Chaos, you will reign over everything within Chaos. Your sight will transcend Chaos. Your sight will exist beyond just this realm, preventing Vonnegut from manipulating your thoughts. Tell me, who are you? Vonnegut repeats the question sharply and persistently, as if trying to discern some clue from Chaos's indifferent eyes. What do you remember? Grey Raven? Babylonia? Luke? He utters one word after another, probing her responses. There isn't the slightest reaction to those words. The petite hetero creature remains expressionless, just like an actual doll. Does she really have consciousness, mister? Observing Vonnegut's somewhat gloomy expression, Lithos hesitates for a moment before speaking softly. From what we've seen with past test subjects, those without implanted memories wouldn't have any memories to speak of. She should have no self-awareness. He shakes his head. She's too complete. I find it hard to believe that a hetero creature fused with the memories of that commandant would remember absolutely nothing. Back then, are you sure there was nothing unusual about that cloned commandant? Lithos recalls everything that's happened at the bottom of the sea. There was nothing usual, mister. Everything has been proceeding according to your plan. All escaped subjects have been recycled by the sea fairies, so there was nothing usual, mister. The cradle has remained stable, and all data shows no issues. I saw the birth of her egg with my own eyes. Lithos states all this with unwavering certainty. The dark figure contemplates in silence. He doesn't believe Chaos is completely without memories, but so far, she hasn't displayed any abnormal behavior. Mister, what are we going to do next? The boy looks up at Vonnegut. We're out of time. He cradles the crimson doll in his arms. Does that mean that he's cradling me in his arms? I can't say I'm fully opposed to this. There have been changes in the Hetero Tower. I suspect the anomaly has noticed this world. The anomaly. We must proceed with the next phase of our plan. The Hetero Tower is now encased in layered crystals, and the path of return has vanished. He has been trapped in this closed loop for too long, and now his only option is to shatter this time cycle. Embracing his final hope, Vonnegut departs from the base. But he doesn't know that I am inside that little baby. That sounds weird. Wait, oh, so I play as Chaos now. I wonder if that means that I'll actually get to, like, use a particular moveset of hers. Lone Shadow in Corridor. Raise your head before the mirror. Tell me, Commandant of Grey Raven, who are you truly? Okie dokie. Chaotic pain floods the mind. Mind, not the brain. A crimson spiral tower materializes and crumbles at the periphery of your sight. Space fractures and then mends, while red light penetrates the dim sky. Wake up, Commandant. Wake. Where am I? Sharp thorns embrace the white bird. Countless familiar silhouettes struggle at the edge of time and space. She battles fiercely within the crevice, all for a sliver of hope. Jagged crystals scatter as blood-red mist permeates the air, their projections appearing on every refractive surface. Then who am I? You find yourself relentlessly chased by eerie shadows, your body slowly dissolving. You ascend this strange staircase, pushing onward until you reach the very top. Who am I? Raise your head before the mirror. Tell me. Grey Raven Commandant, who are you exactly? I am Luke. I'm the Grey Raven Commandant. I am a ghost who drowned at the bottom of the sea. I am the newborn Chaos. Chaos. I'm Luke. I am me. Something shatters deep within you, and your consciousness suddenly snaps into perfect clarity, as if the murky mind is washed through by ice water. Pair after pair of hands grasp yours, dragging you free from those complex information whirlpools. With the aid of the Hetero Tower, you briefly attach your gaze to the hetero creature known as Chaos. As far as the eye can see, you stand on an empty platform, white fog permeating the surroundings, as a spiral staircase extends endlessly toward the heavens. Vonnegut lies collapsed to one side. This place doesn't seem like a safe spot to linger. After a moment's hesitation, you return to the platform and drag along the unconscious agent. Regardless, he could serve as an aide in this tower. Even though he's grown suspicious of you, he's left with no other option. To the staircase! Around the staircase, countless gates stand on platforms of varying sizes. Where is this place exactly? You don't recall seeing an area like this when you were in the Hetero Tower. Just as you hesitate over which direction to take, or whether to call out to Ishmael, the path behind you suddenly begins to collapse. With no time to think, you drag the unconscious agent forward, throw open the nearest gate, and rush inside. In the whirl of movements, a familiar symbol catches your eye, etched on the gate. Vonnegut appears to be awakening, softly murmuring something. The four-winged white raven spreads its wings. Here we go!
Over there. An anomaly?
She recreated her desk in the Research Institute along with the abrasions and scratches on it, making it look like she's still in the lab with her friends.
It's time for a break. Life signs detected in the four-winged white raven space? It's them.
I'm here!
The Hetero Tower's gateway. Stay vigilant, Chaos.
I transed my gender.
This might be traces left by another civilization in the Hetero Tower. I'll wait for you in the center of this plaza.
Yep. It's kind of an interesting question for me to think about as like a speaking as an actor, I guess, because I'm like, do I do Chaos's voice or my own? It seems to be a One Direction gate into this space. There's no way to go back to the Hetero Tower through it again. The strange traces on the floor look like the red tide, but not the type Chaos saw on Earth or in the Hetero Tower. The red tide's information is weird, and seems to have existed for a long time. You shouldn't be here. Ah! Whoa! Ooh, cool. Ooh! She does have a voice. Ooh! These attacks are cool! Now I'm the biblically accurate angel. Strange crystals have blocked the way ahead. They took roots here and can't be removed. Perhaps we could make them disappear with the power of time, just like those hetero creatures. An exquisite creation of an ancient alien civilization, with an hourglass in the center. Judging from how it looks, it has been created a long time ago. It seems we can try turning it. Time is reversing. Seemingly the former residents of the city, but without any signs of life. There are people talking, but it's not in any known language. They are ants, sealed in amber, repeating the same dialogue over and over again. Wait, so am I in Ishmael's civilization? An exquisite creation of an alien civilization with an hourglass in the center. It looks quite similar to the one we just saw. Perhaps we can use it to access that road. But the hourglass in the center seems to have disappeared. The path has vanished, and the passage over there is abnormally sealed off. Is it the hetero creatures again? Oh, ah. The four wing-shaped decorations on the giant statue before the building point straightly at the sky. Why does it look familiar? The hourglass is right here. Wait, those are traces of hetero creatures. Get rid of these hetero creatures and we'll be able to enter the plaza through here. Oh my god, I just realized how much HP I have. Do you think with over 3 million max HP I'll be fine? He's just up ahead.
You've arrived. The civilization the city belonged to must have been highly advanced. I saw interstellar navigation charts over there. Would such a civilization also be reclaimed? Did they just come through the gate after us?
We're fighting together. They should make him playable.
City of an alien civilization. Quite an unexpected discovery. Huh? Wait. The world is turning. Ah! It seems the owner of this space doesn't welcome us. Let's leave as soon as possible.
Spit out by the inverted world. The two appear once again on the empty platform. The spiral staircase still reaches from heaven to earth, yet the gateway they just entered has vanished into nothingness. What did you just do? How did we enter that space? The agent, now lucid, gazes at chaos. I'm not really sure. Let's find a way out of here first. Certain that chaos offers no way forward, Vonnegut stands up and surveys his surroundings. At the edge of the staircase, beyond the stone walls, lies nothing but void. Only rows of sealed gates stand on both sides of the steps, impossible to reopen, with no way to tell which one they had entered through moments ago. The only options for leaving are to follow the stairs upward, or to follow them downward. After walking along the stairs for a long time, the two don't see any destination or end in sight. An illusion? Golden crystals condense as Vonnegut tentatively unleashes his power upward and downward simultaneously. But the only response he receives is still the boundless silence. Such a small provocation seems meaningless as this space remains silent and unresponsive. Do we need to open these gates and go through them? The agent turns his attention to the gates around him. Can you still recognize which way we came in? I have no clue. He tries to push these gates again, but they're all sealed shut, not appearing to be enterable at all. If that's how it is, we'll need to carve out our own way forward. The golden radiance illuminates from the agent's hand, but before he can act, a murky light engulfs his power. Relying on violence is not really a good habit. How come it's you two? Was there a shift in the tower entrance? Why have you appeared here? Perhaps you should ask this space yourself. Vonnegut withdraws the light from his hand. After we entered the tower, chaos suddenly went out of control. I followed her trail, but it seemed like this place was actively resisting my power. So you're saying you couldn't achieve chaos control? Well, clearly you can't. You don't have 2 Chaos Emeralds. When I woke up, I found myself already in this location. I'm starting to get it now. Ishmael reveals a barely perceptible smile, then turns and gestures for the two to follow. Aren't you going to introduce this place? If I'm not mistaken, this should still fall within the domain of the Hetero Tower. It's a place where you'll be trapped forever if you don't leave quickly. The key staff sweeps down and a dark rift silently opens. Looking skeptically at Ishmael, Vonnegut does not particularly trust this mysterious lady. Noticing his suspicion, Ishmael shakes her head and speaks softly. This is an entrance. Leading to where? A graveyard. If you don't leave soon, you too will become part of it. With those words, Ishmael walks into the rift without waiting for a response. Vonnegut follows closely behind with chaos, as the eerie space silently seals shut behind them. Beyond the rift lies the familiar space of the Hetero Tower. As crimson crystals slowly grow, Vonnegut calls out to Ishmael, who is about to leave. How is the Red Tide now? Are you asking about Cradle? I've searched for her several times inside the Hetero Tower, but haven't seen any trace of her. Nothing has changed. She's still carrying on with her tasks, spreading the Red Tide, harvesting information, devouring the surface. Nothing unusual. The agent's expression changes, his brows furrowing. You are not feeling regret, are you? That doesn't suit your character at all, Professor. I have no regrets. This is the necessary path toward the future. In the beginning, when cultivating the Red Tide, he truly never imagined that Agent Zero would be reborn from it. Though he had never forgotten about the existence of Agent Zero, he always believed that, in the short term, Agent Zero wouldn't be able to discover this world, that he still had enough time. The rift in the bridge across dreams still cannot be sealed. She still exists, and it's only a matter of time before she finds this world. Nemo. I suspect that we might need a new approach to accomplish all this. The projections within the red tide are not necessarily true illusions. Trout. As his grand design unfolded, he began to continuously cultivate the red tide, hoping to find new answers. But his path forward was once again interrupted, as the origin of the red tide and the chaos contamination shared traits too similar to ignore, making him aware of a new problem. The gigantized Chiku. Sifting through memories of numerous loops to extract the shards belonging to this cycle, the agent slowly begins to speak. I truly never imagined the Hetero Tower would manifest on Earth in this form. Now, it's still too early for this world. When Dominic and you appeared here, one after another in different forms, you should have seen it coming, shouldn't you? Ishmael gazes quietly at the agent, her tone devoid of any emotion, repeating the words Vonnegut himself once said. It's not just technology that was brought back from the future. The problems of that era came with it. I won't deny my mistake. Vonnegut lets out a soft sigh, gazing at the pale doll. But now, everything will come to an end. A slight pulling sensation emerges within the consciousness, as if something is being stripped away from the body. The interior of the Hetero Tower gently ripples, as if welcoming the return of the one who was once its master. Ah, it's her. Looks like it's time for me to make my exit. I wish you good luck on your journey. I feel like he's gonna think that she's wishing him good luck, but actually she's wishing me good luck. Because she knows the truth. That I am not a little baby girl, but secretly a little twink in the body of a tiny girl. The galaxy is gazing at the wildfire of civilization. Well, I got the thingy for getting achievements. It seems like, since last chapter, you don't get the badge from getting all the achievements. You just get them from getting a certain number of them. Because I'm sure there's still a boss fight in this chapter, and I'm sure that there are going to be achievements associated with that as well. Alright, I'm gonna have a quick drink. My throat's starting to get a little bit, hurty. Death reenactment. Fervently eyeing the agent like a butterfly specimen, Cradle suddenly seems to have lost interest in everything else. Cradle enters the Hetero Tower. Cradle has returned to the Hetero Tower. The Hetero Tower trembles slightly, welcoming the one who was once its master. Before long, Cradle locates the core within the tower. The familiar sensation makes her consciousness tremble. She reaches out, attempting to touch the Azure core. However, a force field suddenly expands, repelling her away from the Hetero Tower's core. Agent Zero. I still prefer the name Cradle. I haven't had the chance to thank you yet. After gaining Agent Zero's authority, I've started to remember things. At least a part of it. Very well. Perhaps we can save some time. Radiant light flashes in the agent's hand, lunging toward Cradle. Chaos's consciousness is complete enough to bear Agent Zero's authority, regardless of any issues unnoticed. There's no need to waste more time with this anomaly before him. I thought you'd want to chat with me a little longer. Cradle's form flickers as she darts behind the red crystals for cover. You changed something, didn't you? Her rose-colored eyes lock onto Chaos standing aside. Maybe I did. What are you gonna do about it? The petite doll nimbly weaves around the crystals, striking at Cradle's exposed flank. Can't we really just sit down and talk this through? There's clearly no conflict between us. Or rather, who exactly are you? The crimson crystals screech as they grind against each other. A swarm of red butterflies emerges, surging toward the agent and the doll. You'll soon have no need to know. The three rapidly something through the tower. There's a word missing here. Unable to match Vonnegut and Chaos's combined assault, Cradle continuously flees away from the core area. She thought that by leaving the core area, the agents wouldn't rashly pursue her. But for some reason, even after she has moved far from the core, Vonnegut shows no intention of stopping the chase. After several moments, she finally manages to temporarily evade the two pursuers, hiding behind a cluster of crystals. Cradle must seek aid, despite the Hetero Tower being her home field. Without regaining sufficient authority, she cannot single-handedly oppose the two who depend on the Hetero Core. Well then. Her palm releases thin trickles, letting the red tide spread in all directions. Found you. She has already heard the wind coming from a wall of the Hetero Tower. Though unclear who left it there. She feels her way to the edge of the tower wall, aiming her gleaming scythe at the tiny wound. You won't say no, right? A crimson light flashes brilliantly as the tiny fissure rapidly expands, and the red tide surges into the Hetero Tower like it's returning home. Over there. The moment the Hetero Tower sustains damage, the agent immediately discovers Cradle's whereabouts. Using a force field as a springboard, Chaos leaps upward, sweeping aside the red butterflies obstructing her vision, and strikes directly at Cradle. Man, I'm kind of a badass in this body. The red tide surges forward as Hetero creatures savagely bite into Chaos's flesh. But the doll shows no sign of feeling pain, precisely striking towards Cradle's head. Step back. Although her strike lands as planned, Chaos also has her forearm severed by the scythe. The limb of the Hetero creature born from the red tide is instantly absorbed, immediately merging back with the red tide. Cradle, appearing from another direction, momentarily freezes after devouring the part of Chaos. Dominic. Fragments of information flow from the red tide, as Cradle dodges Chaos's next attack with a terrified jolt, an unusual fear visible in her eyes. Agent Zero, stripped of authority, has been banished by the Inver Hetero Tower, now wandering in the wastelands of the red tide. The Vanguard team, force fields. Chaos pierces through Cradle's chest, but the doll's flesh is also sliced by her scythe. Earth time, November 21st, 2198. Node 201 log. Humans developed portable force field devices capable of preventing the chaos contamination from spreading. Vonnegut's golden crystal pierces through Cradle's skull, but both he and Chaos are wounded by Cradle to varying degrees. Earth time, November 22nd, 2198. Node 371 log. The Vanguard team led by Dominic continued to explore the Hetero Tower. Due to interference from the force fields, their specific plans remain difficult to ascertain. The Red Tide, having made contact with Chaos, endlessly absorbs and digests everything. From these fragments of information, Cradle slowly recovers memories of the past through repeated battles and rewinds. Struck once again by Vonnegut's golden crystal, Cradle sinks back into the Red Tide. Under the control of its former master, the Hetero Tower gradually reverses the hands of time. Slowly, Cradle regenerates within the Red Tide, but she has already recalled almost everything. The Vanguard team, Project String, Dominic, Nemo. It's been a while. From within the blood-soaked Red Tide, she smiles at the agent. Through endless cycles of death and destruction, within the very flesh of chaos. Oh. Ah. Hi, Kiro! Thank you so much for the raid! Hi there! Hi, Cycle Reaper. Hi, Kieran. How are you all doing? I saw you were streaming more Fatal Fury earlier. Did you have fun, Kiro? I hope you did. I am having fun. Some real weird stuff is happening in the story right now, and I'm really enjoying it. my character has it's complicated. I have ascended to a higher plane of existence, and now I'm like possessing a girl made from living virus. It's complicated. You know, just like normal stuff. Normal Sunday night things. I'm glad you had a good time playing Fatal Fury. Ugh, God. People normally do like an introduction when they get rated. I should like... Hi. Sorry. I'm just so... I'm trying my best. Hi. I'm Luke Aurora. I'm, as of right now, just a PNG tuber, hoping to graduate to VTuber eventually. Wait, maybe I shouldn't have used the word graduate there. That has a different meaning in this space. Hoping to ascend? Evolve? Something like that. Anyway. Yeah, I'm currently just a PNG tuber, hoping to become a VTuber eventually. I'm also a writer and an aspiring voice actor, and right now I'm playing Punishing Grey Raven, which is a post-apocalyptic sci-fi game. It's a gacha, which I know a lot of people don't really like, but it is also a really fun action game with really good music. I really love the music in this game. Like, ugh. And the new music in this chapter is so good. Like, the one that's playing right now, I think is so cool. Ugh, it's so neat. But anyway, yeah, I'm at a time when real weird stuff is happening in the story, and I'm having a real good time with it. But anyway, if you're tired after your stream, Kiro, then go take a rest. But if you want to, you could also stay here for a bit and hang out. Whatever you want. You know. Just do whatever you want. No pressure either way. I always worry that when I say stuff like that, people will... I don't know. I just never want to make people feel pressured to, like, hang out with me. So yeah, do what you want. But thank you again for the raid. And thanks again to Kiro's community for coming along with him. No, thank you, Kiro. Thank you. Through endless cycles of death and destruction, within the very flesh of chaos, she has reclaimed everything that belongs to her. The other thing is that the story of this game is very, like, visual novel-y, and a lot of it is unvoiced. So one of the fun things about playing this game on stream is that I get to do all the voices myself, which is very fun. And I feel like it's some good practice for, like, voice acting. At least I hope so. It does, when I'm trying to do all the voices myself, it does get a little weird, because I'm like, well, there are so many characters, and I simply cannot give a completely distinct voice to all of them, especially like the nameless NPCs. But I'm doing my best and I'm having fun. And that's what matters. Truly a story that deserves to be named hard work. Yeah, that's what matters. Crimson butterflies gather, lifting their master from the tide. You need to fulfill your mission, so I should continue to carry on mine as well. As the gleaming scythe reflects red crystals, Vonnegut activates his force field, his expression darkening as he locks eyes with Cradle. You remember now. And I must thank you for the memories you fed to Chaos. Cradle, who appeared weakened just moments ago, springs forward, her scythe slicing through silent air. But I'm also quite curious to know. With such a hasty attack, are you really prepared for everything? Cradle's memories are gradually being restored through Chaos's flesh, and she has now obtained the authority that rightfully belongs to her. The roles of hunter and prey reverse in an instant. Outside the Hetero Tower, Vonnegut gasps for air, using the punishing virus to mend his body. Leveraging his familiarity with the bridge across dreams, he uses his force field to evade Cradle's onslaught, pushing all three of them temporarily out of the Hetero Tower. The uncertainty of Cradle's landing poses a threat, yet Vonnegut cannot allow her proximity to the Hetero Core. Oh, wait! I almost forgot to say, Happy Pride, Kiro and everybody from Kiro's stream. 'Cause it's June now. Hi, Gay. Happy Pride Month. We are sashaying away with deals. This month at the Butter Shop, we're offering a special deal. If you can prove that you're queer, we'll give you 3 pints off your first choice of drowned butter. And if you do mouth stuff, you get 4. We love gay, and it's awesome. And we also make candles now. Isn't a candle nice for gay stuff? Whether in the bedroom or just hanging out. Yeah, we wouldn't. Hey, wouldn't your partner want butter? From the original old maid's home? We've been making butter since 1945, and we've been serving all people since the last 4 months. So, yeah, we are gagging for you to come take a taste of Cecily's Butter Shop at Cecily's Butter Shop. My friend's mom is, I think is gay. So, we think it's cool. Turn it off, Willard. Yay! I love that video. It's so funny. Okay, back to serious things. With her memories restored, Cradle regains almost all the power she commands as Agent Zero within the Hetero Tower. With Chaos temporarily unable to seize control of the Red Tide, they are left with no option to endure their disadvantaged position. Vonnegut lets out a deep sigh, anxiety creasing his brow. No, this is taking too long. Time flows chaotically in the Hetero Tower. Amid the constantly rewound battle, Cradle eagerly absorbs the fragments of memories that belong to her from within Chaos's shell, while Chaos gradually devours the authority of the Red Tide in return. But it's still not enough. Chaos's rate of growth falls far short of keeping pace with Cradle's recovery. I was too impatient. Vonnegut places his hand on his forehead, trying to calm his restlessness and restructure his thoughts. Having finally found a genuine return ticket, he was too eager to pursue the ultimate answer, too impatient to witness the result of his plan. This is my fault. The doll silently observes the agent's figure, perhaps because she has already acquired a portion of the Red Tide's authority. Your gaze continues to watch this space, even after leaving the Hetero Tower. For context, for people who just came in, I am sort of the doll Chaos and sort of not at the moment. It's complicated. I mentioned that I, am possessing this little girl made of virus. And that's Chaos, also sometimes referred to as the doll. Because she looks like a little doll. This is an ending that has never appeared in your own memories. In your previous journey inside the Hetero Tower with Lucia, Vonnegut behaved like an erratic madman, utilizing Chaos in a repeated attempt to take you away, as Cradle relentlessly pursued behind, targeting the tower's core directly. This time, the agent, having perceived Chaos's completeness, forsook all strategies and faced Cradle head-on, only to find himself unable to withstand her incessant growth through death. What must be done to completely break this closed loop? It's fine. I still have a contingency plan. He thoughtfully gazes at the gradually growing doll before him. Since there isn't enough time for Chaos to mature, then it's time to use the fruit. Having made the decision unilaterally, he ponders for a moment, then reaches out to touch Chaos's brow. Whatever the agent is doing, it feels as if her consciousness is being carved open by a dull knife. Deep throbbing pain radiates from within her body, nearly causing your gaze to fade. After she regains consciousness, Vonnegut opens his palm, revealing a small, delicate fruit. It turns out that the fruit you once swallowed is created just like this. While the tiny heterocrystals repair Chaos's damaged consciousness, the agent notices some barely perceptible wounds. Your consciousness has experienced similar damage. What else haven't you told me? A lot. I haven't told you a lot, buddy. And I'm not gonna. The agent shifts an inquisitive gaze toward Chaos. And I say nothing. Sensing her reluctance, Vonnegut suppresses the impatience that has been building since entering the Hetero Tower and shakes his head. Forget it. Now is not the time to delve into this matter. The heterocrystals continue to repair Chaos's festering wounds as the agent masks the emotions in his eyes. We need to find a way to send your consciousness into the red tide to hold Cradle back. An ominous shadow tears through the air behind him, twisting into a bizarre trail. Wait. Vonnegut only has time to place the fruit in the doll's palm before his expression changes. A rift of the Hetero Tower silently opens behind him, and the agent instantly appears near the tower's core with Chaos, who now has a significantly bigger figure. Cradle! Golden crystals suddenly thrust toward the red-eyed girl, who commands Hetero creatures to assault the tower's core. Vonnegut deploys a force field, and instantly strikes at the tide of Hetero creatures surging toward him. Oops. I thought I could sneak in without you noticing. She nimbly leaps away, seemingly unconcerned about the sudden appearance of the agent in the doll. Did you leave something here to keep yourself updated on the situation? Let me guess. Could it be... this? She commands the Hetero creatures to precisely target the force field devices nearby, which swarm forward in unison. The agent stops speaking as golden crystals violently erupt, trapping Cradle within. What a shame. But such a measure is no longer enough to counter Cradle, who has now recovered her memories. The red-eyed girl's silhouette silently melts into the red tide. Even though many of the Hetero creatures under her command have dissolved under the combined assault from the Hetero Tower's core, and Vonnegut, Cradle, who was born from the Hetero Tower itself, remains a formidable opponent. Oh man, I just realized that when I became Chaos, I became a Hetero creature. They made me a hetero! God damn it. Well, that doesn't matter, because I'm still gay. They can make me into a hetero creature all they want. I will always be gay. My gayness transcends humanity. Okay, well now I sound like I have a god complex. Well, I guess it is Pride Month. That's what they mean by pride, right? Developing a god complex? Yeah. Okay. For June and for June only, it's okay for queer people to have god complexes. I've decided that. And because I'm apparently a god now, I do have the authority to enact that. So there. Okay. Anyway. The red tide flows everywhere. She drifts through the viscous liquid, maneuvering against the two foes while constantly seeking an opportunity to strike at the core. The pure core persistently cleanses the corruption of the punishing virus. Now it's just a matter of who falls first. Better be careful. I'm about to catch your weakness. The agent forcefully upholds a force field, endeavoring to push Cradle away from the core area. Seizing the moment, the doll utilizes the extended force field as a thick platform to charge directly at Cradle. Just kidding. Cradle whirls around, deliberately allowing her chest to be impaled, as she embraces the pale doll with her blood-stained body. You are my target all along. Chaos. I like how I just said, She's grabbing me while, like, covered in blood, and I'm just like, Red tide-like fluid seeps from her wound as Cradle's lips curl into a smile. Like someone who has obtained a priceless treasure, she begins to gnaw intently on the doll's flesh. But is that what people do with treasure? They gnaw intently on it? I don't know if I'd do that. I mean, I have at least one friend who I think would. You didn't seriously think I wouldn't notice your attempt to steal Agent Zero's authority, right? A thief. Chaos! The agent shouts sternly while upholding the force field. The doll's consciousness abruptly snaps back to alertness. With fingers joined into a razor-sharp claw, the doll pierces through Cradle's chest, then viciously thrusts the fruit deep into her body with a backhand motion. The girl is thrown off balance by the doll's counterattack, but only for an instant. So this is the plan you struggled so hard to come up with. Not as impressive as I'd imagined, Nemo. I guess your minds have also been worn down by those time loops. She grins as she flings the weary doll at her feet, while the red tide gradually saps her blood. Just as Cradle reaches out her fingers to dig out the fruit lodged in her. Ugh. As if drawn by some invisible force, the fruit rapidly melts and vanishes into her body. How is this possible? A strange sensation of being controlled spreads throughout her body. Her power gradually drains away, and the authority she thought was completely hers begins to falter. Has it already scattered and hidden in Chaos's flesh? She grits her teeth in fury, trying to locate the culprit, but those tiny fragments of power are too scattered for her to immediately extract the deeply buried, shattered roots. It. In an instant, Chaos's fruit completely integrates into her body. If she devours Chaos now, he cannot guarantee whether she'll be the one to digest Chaos, or if Chaos will turn the tide and eat her instead. Should Chaos gain the upper hand, she would instantly lose her authority as Agent Zero. The red tide. The feeble doll rapidly repairs her body using the red tide, commanding the surging waters to cut off Cradle's escape. But Chaos's authority is equally unstable, barely holding Cradle back for a short distance. Vonnegut has left a force field around the Hetero Tower's core for protection. Although Chaos has intercepted the red tide's authority, she cannot fully devour it. Weighing her options, Cradle suddenly turns around. Countless hetero creatures surge toward the core behind her, as she channels all her power and lunges at Vonnegut. Red crystal spikes sprout in an instant. If he wants to maintain the force field projecting the core, he'll inevitably have to take this strike. The crystal spikes violently pierce through his body. Though the Hetero Tower's core quickly dissolves them, a deep wound remains etched across his chest. Vonnegut! Although the force field has blocked numerous hetero creatures, Vonnegut's power is now weakened, making him unable to fully uphold its defense. The red tide under Cradle's control hammers at the force field's weakest points. Crimson butterflies, like fish slipping through a net, begin to fall around the core. Cradle follows the path laid by the butterflies, turns to take a decisive leap, and lunges directly at the Hetero Tower's core. If she can corrupt the core, she will have enough power to completely purge that doll's consciousness from the body. No way! A white light suddenly stings your retinas. engulfing the entire Hetero Tower. A sharp buzzing resonates through your mind. Your gaze, attached to chaos, grows unstable, threatening to detach from the Hetero Tower and plunge back into darkness. The buzzing gradually subsides. The blinding white light slowly fades, leaving only a rift in the air leaking eerie white fog. Vonnegut uses his last strength to maintain the protection around the Hetero Tower's core before collapsing weakly to the ground. The doll finally finishes repairing her legs and slowly moves toward him. The fog. As the original creator of the Hetero Tower, Cradle naturally has ways to tear apart the fog or escape from it. Behind Vonnegut, the rift responds as if on cue. White fog seeps out, tearing at the thin barrier. Golden light emanates from the agent's palm, rising upward to tightly constrict the rift, thwarting the escape of the thing within. The fog cannot contain Cradle. Just as I thought. The breathless agent lifts his eyelids, looking at the doll beside him without surprise. It's you. Oh no, he realized I'm the twink. You have been watching Grey Raven Commandant Luke. Oops. Guess I'm caught. Oops. Oh. Sorry. There's no point hiding it in this situation. You don't think I haven't figured it out, do you? Well, now I think you figured it out because you asked me. He lets out a mocking laugh. I don't know what arrangement you struck with that lady to make her willing to help you. But, considering the current situation, maybe it's not such a bad thing after all. What are you implying? I want you to work with me. Cradle must die here, or we can only return to that closed loop again. The agent releases a long sigh as the rift behind him pulsates once more, with slender streams of the red tide trickling out. Clearly, Cradle, trapped in the fog, adamantly refuses to acknowledge defeat, and is trying every possible means to break free. The red tide corrodes the golden crystals, causing Vonnegut to wince in pain. He tenses his fingers, and light once again covers the crack, forcing the red tide to temporarily retreat as if startled. You will not die. Those spikes can only temporarily harm Vonnegut. In the future you have already experienced, he should not die from this injury. Who can say? He opens his palm, gradually healing his wounds. Upon his form, the wounds pierced by the spikes are slowly festering, with tiny red butterflies constantly sprouting from his flesh. These horrifying little creatures flutter their vibrant wings, feeding on Vonnegut's power. Butterflies flap their wings, and the variables become unpredictable. I think Cradle has seen something in your flesh. Ew, she should stop looking in my flesh. That makes me uncomfortable. The doll hurriedly approaches, trying to cover the wounds with her palm to absorb the red butterflies using her authority, but to no avail. She still hasn't mastered all the authority. Let's cooperate. I'll help you kill Cradle. Otherwise, having one more person enter this time loop wouldn't benefit me either. How do you wish to proceed? Fog won't contain Cradle for long. The Hetero Tower's core absolutely cannot be corrupted by her again. I want you to take the core away. Take away the core? But beyond the Hetero Tower lies another world. A world that belongs to chaos contamination. You even know about that. He coughs, blood frothing at the corner of his lips, which he quickly wipes away. The agent gazes intently at the figure before him. What else do you know? Nemo, Dominic, the Vanguard team, and everything else. I know all about you, buddy. It's Agent Zero's authority, isn't it? What time did you come back from? I'm not telling. Well, I don't have any more information to exchange with you anyway. A brilliant radiance flares against the agent once again. Flares as the agent once again seals off the butterflies and fog surging from the rift. Simultaneously, another red crystal spike slithers out like a venomous snake, piercing through Vonnegut's left arm. The festering wounds on his body persist in their refusal to heal. The agent frowns deeply, attempting to drive the punishing virus to mend the damage. Since you already know everything, you must also be aware that using the key to interfere with the Hetero Tower's core requires sacrifice. That was why all members of the Vanguard team became part of the tower. Tiny red butterflies corrode his wounds, preventing the punishing virus from preparing his body. The agent speaks again, yet in a strange tone that doesn't belong to him. I need you now to help me. Help me fulfill Dominic's original plan. Kill Cradle and recycle the true core of the Hetero Tower. But there is no key here. And the Hetero Tower's core can't be stored either. Back in the Hetero Tower, Lucia used Dominic's key to absorb the core. In this layer of time, Lucia didn't enter the tower, so naturally there's no key to contain the core. That's right, so... Dispersing the regenerated red butterflies, the agent produces a strange golden square crystal from his wounds. This is the key that belongs to me. Nemo. This is also what I hate most. Just like back then. The Vanguard team sacrificed everything, betting all hope on the Hetero Tower, paid every price possible, yet only managed to open one exit to Dominic's world. Everything in their world fell into stagnation, firmly sealed away by the Hetero Tower beyond an unknown space. In the end, does he too end up walking down the same path? Will this sacrifice really make a difference? After a brief silence, Vonnegut forcibly uses the punishing virus to seal his wound, and slowly rises to his feet. I can't tell which layer of the Hetero Tower you've returned from, but I really hope that the Hetero Tower ends at this layer. With more and more divergence points showing up, someday, this place will either be explored or destroyed. You don't trust me, and I don't trust you either. But at this point, I have no choice but to place everything in your hands. He laughs at himself. To place hope in the person who was once an enemy. The Hetero Tower trembles slightly. The rift of the fog breathes slowly like a living creature. Vonnegut furrows his brow, his arm maintaining the golden crystals quivering subtly, clearly beginning to strain from the effort. Tell me what I need to do. You've already merged with chaos. I need not say more. To To return to the previous layer of the Hetero Tower requires Agent Zero's authority, and the Hetero Tower's core. Don't let the Hetero Tower collapse, or no one can survive. All you need to do is retrieve the Hetero Tower's core and control the tower. But not now. Remember, after taking control of the Hetero Tower, immediately seal the rift behind its core. The force field can only hold for a short time. You should be able to accomplish all this with Agent Zero's complete authority. And I'll hold her off for as long as I can. Now, everything else is up to you. Before he can finish speaking, the agent's arms drop, as if drained of all strength. The golden crystals suddenly shatter, and the rift expands in an instant. The red tide condenses into razor-sharp spikes, shooting out from the fissure and piercing the agent's body in a crisscross pattern. The doll, still clutching the golden cubic crystal, silently sinks into a small patch of the red tide and vanishes without a trace. We meet again. You didn't actually think the fog could contain me, did you? The agent in black remains silent as golden crystals stubbornly climb up from behind the girl, refusing to admit defeat. Still not letting go? Amid the crimson butterfly's lethal onslaught, the crystals splinter into fragments, akin to a life marred by countless failures, eventually dissolving into the pooling red tide on the ground. After changing time so many times, you are now far away from who you originally were, aren't you? Fervently eyeing the agent like a butterfly specimen, Cradle suddenly seems to have lost interest in everything else. Just a few breaths away from death. Is that little rat in hiding the only one left? I'll let you play a little longer then. The Hetero Tower is my child. What could you possibly use to take it away from me? Amid countless crimson butterflies, the Hetero creatures steadily approach the position of the core. Before long, the girl's fingertips make contact with the core. The radiant blue light dissolves her fingertips, and this mild pain triggers an unexpected sense of agitation. It's as if she has eagerly awaited a long-anticipated feast, only to find it as tasteless as wax when it's finally served. The all-too-easy victory leaves her feeling unsatisfied. How boring. No, she should not have such emotions. Having restored all the memories, Cradle furrows her brow, irritably contemplating how to excise the noises from her consciousness. However, the realization that she has such an irritated thought only fuels her anger further. Damn you, Dominic! Whatever. She interrupts her train of thought and shifts her focus back on seizing control of the Hetero Tower's core. If she can reverse the rules of the Hetero Tower's core and restore everything to its original state, she will find a way to excise her personality in no time. But is excising her personality truly what she wants? Irrepressibly, a faint voice emerges from deep within her heart. After excising her personality, who would she be? Cradle or Agent Zero? Having already tasted emotions, can she truly revert to being Agent Zero again? With her attention drawn to the faint whispers in her heart, Cradle fails to notice that Vonnegut's body is quietly undergoing changes. Golden crystals gradually spread across his body as the Hetero Tower's core trembles ever so slightly, as if welcoming its 13th guest. This time, it's finally my turn. He feels as if he has returned to that lone young man's side. This time, can I really complete this impossible mission. The golden crystals bypass the bewildered Cradle, gradually climbing toward the Hetero Tower's core. Or see you on the next layer. The agent's body completely vanishes as golden light erupts brilliantly. The Hetero Tower's core pulses with dazzling azure radiance, accepting the embrace of the golden crystals. Cradle abruptly snaps to attention and frantically reaches for the core, disregarding the torment of her disintegrating body. However, chaos, emerging suddenly from the red tide, unmistakably outpaces her. That's me thrusting it into the core. A sudden burst of light engulfs the entire Hetero Tower as an earth-shattering explosion echoes through all space. Damn it! The unexpected rays of azure light promptly reduce Cradle to a gory sight. She screams in agony, trying to retreat momentarily into the red tide, only to realize in horror that the expanded force field has already blocked her last means of escape. Of all the places. The doll, bearing your gaze, stands stoically to the side. Bathed in the purifying light emanating from the Hetero Tower's core, her body is equally exposed, yet she remains steadfast, firmly maintaining the control of the force field. I'm good, Bunny-chan. I hope you're doing well too. You're a sleepy bunny who will sleep here? Okay. Have a nice rest. I hope you sleep well. Goodbye, Cradle. Is it really just a goodbye? She suddenly flashes a twisted smile, offering no further words as her petite form rapidly disintegrates. I won't give you that chance. The doll tightens her grip on the golden cubic crystal containing the Hetero Tower's core, causing even more intense azure light to shoot forth from within. Isolated outside the force field, Cradle fails to detonate her body. Cracks gradually spread across her form until, just as unexpected as her arrival, Cradle gradually vanishes within the blue barrier, leaving behind only a butterfly with damaged wings, clinging to a narrow corner. Goodbye, Cradle. The doll picks up the red butterfly and, without a moment's hesitation, presses it into the golden cubic crystal. The last red butterfly dissolves into a wisp of mist, completely vanishing within the Hetero Tower. Fragmented buzzing sounds echo in the air as the tower trembles incessantly, as if lamenting the loss of its former master. With the Hetero Tower's core now contained within the golden cubic crystal, space begins to slowly tear apart at its former location. Strange colors flickering from beyond the rift. The last force field left behind by the agent suddenly expands, temporarily holding back the assault from beyond the rift. Now, clutching the golden cubic crystal in her arms, the doll slowly sinks into the undulating red tide. I know how to talk. I can enunciate my words. Can this be considered a success? Unbeknownst to anyone, the pink-haired woman silently appears in a corner of the Hetero Tower. Let me see. How is this chapter of the story recorded in the book? She opens the book, intending to find the corresponding record, but after hastily flipping through a few pages, she tosses it aside with apparent irritation. Coming across such an entertaining spectacle is rare. It's worth waiting with a little more patience. An indeterminate amount of time passes. The force field gradually thins, nearing its limit, just as crimson spikes threaten to breach the faltering shield. The red tide churns with gentle ripples, a mist of vibrant hues slowly ascending from its depths. Wings carrying numerous hopes unfurl from the murky tide. The humming of the Hetero Tower fades, as myriad crimson crystals solidify the rupturing space. With the complete authority of Agent Zero, she once more returns to the tower that should rightfully be under her command. Alright, we did it, maybe. I still feel like there's gonna be complications. Especially because there's 10 stages left in this chapter. Gazing from above. Countless years of information amassed by the Hetero Tower flow ceaselessly into the mind. Civilizations lament the final requiem in sorrowful song. The gaze from the dream detaches from the body, overlooking the entire world like a ghost from above. Saw past. Hello, do you need any help? I just noticed you seemed a bit out of it. Hello, my name is Lucia. My frame designation is BPL-01, Lotus, and I'm also the team leader of Grey Raven. I don't regret what I just did. I had to tell Vanessa and my former teammates about my will as a soldier and member of the Grey Ravens. The unknown isn't always unsolvable. Sometimes, true hope can be found in the unknown. I know you will always choose to stand by my side. And that's exactly why I'm bound to succeed. See her. Once it's released, whether through Luna, who failed the refiltering, or through Cradle, its fusion with the Ascension Network is inevitable. The only question is who will take control. The key is quite complete. Perhaps she can become a nearly perfect return ticket. See. A tranquil, stable world that feels both comfortable and strangely alien. The viewpoint suddenly elevates, revealing a blue planet on the edge of sight. From the far reaches of the cosmos, the pink-haired woman approaches with measured grace. Finally awake, are you? Finally can control your own eyes. Finally can see it all. She pauses for a moment, her voice revealing a hint of sudden realization. Finally, able to obtain the true ticket. Eyes snapping open, the gaze sinks into the Hetero Tower. The surroundings are completely silent, as if nothing has ever happened. The agitation of the Hetero Tower is soothed by Chaos, who emerged from the red tide. The fissures flowing with red liquid gradually seal themselves, as the scattered butterfly wings on the ground are wholly assimilated into the tower. Cradle's residual power fills the fissures in the tower's body. Chaos slowly lowers her gaze, feeling the power of Agent Zero. With absolute command over Agent Zero's power, your gaze can now truly merge with this form so intimately linked to you. Is this what you called a success? The doll's peculiar voice echoes throughout the Hetero Tower. does it feel to obtain such power? With the authority of Agent Zero, time and space within the Hetero Tower feel like compressed glass spheres, able to shift in accordance with the wielder's volition. However, tentatively, Chaos attempts to control the Hetero Tower. The tower trembles, but offers little response. How? After risking death countless times to claim Agent Zero's authority, securing the Hetero Tower's core while caught between Vonnegut and Cradle, the doll repeatedly draws power from the Hetero Tower, attempting to halt its growth, trying to reverse everything back to the correct path. But no matter what actions are taken, the Hetero Tower gives only the faintest response. The tower trembles, responding weakly to its newborn master, like a sculpture hewn from glass that could collapse at any moment with just one more touch. Why? Why can't the Hetero Tower still be used? As if the previous moment of bewilderment was merely an illusion, the doll intensifies her movements. Chaos. Ignoring her call, the doll's movements grow increasingly violent, and the Hetero Tower emits an earth-shattering wail. Complex information floods into her mind as the towering Hetero Tower continues to grow without cessation. Throughout the fluctuations of the past and future, it has never ceased growing upward. The power of grief converges, on the verge of tearing everything apart, yet suddenly freezes in a single moment. Why? Why is this happening? The lofty deity resembles a fish stranded out of water, gasping in near death from desiccation. Though her expression remains unchanged, a melancholic aura pervades the tower. The doll's voice is etched with despair. It shouldn't be like this. Chaos covers her face in agony. The tower spirals upward, with tendrils sprouting in all directions. Due to Vonnegut and Cradle's reckless movements throughout the tower earlier, even though Chaos has successfully obtained Agent Zero's authority, the information within the tower has grown exponentially. You saw it. The pink-haired woman gazes at the weeping newborn deity, a compassionate smile playing in her eyes. The Hetero Tower. Is it that you can't use it? Or that you dare not? She can't. The Crimson Tower spirals upward to touch the heavens, threatening to collapse at any second. Different layers of the tower undergo repeated fission, splitting apart again and again. The past and future altered through the Hetero Tower haven't disappeared. Their cornerstones continue to stack precariously, teetering on the brink of collapse. If the deity attempts to return to the previous layer, or intervenes to change everything while her power's bedrock remains unsteady, the infinitely stacked information may crumble imminently. Human civilization will cease to exist. You knew this would happen, didn't you? Why? She has done everything she can. Why is she still unable to change the schemes of fate? This is everything they have carved out. Ishmael speaks calmly. Like me, you are able to see beyond the ordinary world. Like me, all that's left of you here is also just a projection. Essentially, we are the same kind of existence, and our endings are destined to be alike. The vast sea of stars explodes at the edge of the universe. Stardust scatters in all directions, and misty clouds spread throughout. Her gaze penetrates through countless universes, settling upon this world. We will eventually meet at the end of the world. Bearing their broken civilizations, they will journey together through the depths of starlit skies and oceans until they find a new shore. No. The newborn deity opens her eyes filled with blood and tears. But you no longer have the power to save this place. Everything I've done is not meant for an ending like this. Power gradually grows, wings stretching to obscure the sky and sun. Every dark pupil harbors the spectrum of emotions, gazing upon the world chaotically amassed by the Hetero Tower. There will always be a way. The red tide slowly dries up, is contained information slowly absorbed by the doll. I will prune the branches of the Hetero Tower and dismantle the layers that should never have existed. I will push everything back to the past. Back to the time before the Hetero Tower's arrival. You'll be overwhelmed by excessive information, completely losing yourself. The pink-haired woman voices her bewilderment. Things are fine as they are, aren't they? The punishing virus will preserve everything of this civilization. One day, we'll find a way to restore it. But if you continue absorbing this endless stream of information caused by Vonnegut and Cradle, you'll lose your mind from being unable to bear all this information. Even higher dimensional beings, even deities, can meet their twilight. Ishmael takes a step back, gazing at chaos whose pupils swirl with turbulence. I have never feared death. I have come this far. Not so that I can give up here. Please forgive me. I'll have to stay in the past for now. But you will press on, far beyond, until you reach the place where everyone can be brought back. Liv, Lee, and our other companions. They didn't leave Earth because they abandoned it. They left to look for hope in places far beyond. To look for you. When that time comes, if you still want to, come find me. What I, Commandant, left in this world is no more than just a projection. Here carries my Commandant's memories. Holds my Commandant's emotions. Bears my Commandant's bonds. Brilliant light scatters in all directions as time freezes in this moment. Innumerable red threads manifest, omnipresent, coiling around the Hetero Tower and ensnaring the entire Earth. The gate of the Stellar Sea is forcibly pushed open. Myriads of shards drift along the river of time. I, Commandant. I, Luke. Here, I will reshape the time of human civilization. The threads, carrying red and golden shards with them, gradually expand, enveloping the entire blue planet. Death and rebirth, joy and lamentation blanket the vast stellar sea. Babylonia, the punishing virus has caught up. It's eternal winter. Even animals have begun mutating too. No one can escape. Is my duty already fulfilled? I'm here to say goodbye to you. Why was I born into a world like this? She hears sorrowful, lingering sighs, and the countless voices of humanity. She takes into herself all the redundant echoes pruned from human civilization. Infinite causality and time crowd her mind, leaving only murmurs by her ears, merged, cacophonous, yet indistinct. Her consciousness shatters countless times, only to solidify and reconstruct itself just as often. Star clusters appear and vanish, congealed in the cosmos, eternal and unchanging. They, humanity, roar in anger. They, humanity, wander without purpose. They, humanity, wail in sorrow. They, humanity, are filled with joy, welcoming the arrival of new life. They, humanity, raise their blades against invaders in fury. Countless years of information amassed by the Hetero Tower flow ceaselessly into her mind. Civilizations lament the final requiem in sorrowful song. The deity, teetering on the brink of madness, wrapped in countless strands of time, rampages recklessly through the Hetero Tower. She obliterates all in her path, witnessing a myriad of endings belonging to humanity and beings beyond. She sees the weapons of them descend, effortlessly crushing an entire planet into a thin slice. She sees planets shrouded by eerie red mist, devoid of even a whisper. She sees day and night reversed by the rules, the ground becoming beyond reach as life drowns in the deep sea. She sees a sun-like star expanding, its scorching energy engulfing an entire stellar region. She sees a somewhat familiar emblem. Unintentionally, Chaos, teetering on the edge of insanity, halts in front of a gate, bearing the symbol of a four-winged white raven. Here. Hazy memories surge from the depths of her mind. So, what is this place? One of the entrances to the graveyard. The entrance to the graveyard. Is it you? Chaos touches the white gate. Since you've been reading my story all this time. Beneath the intersecting threads of fate, she gives a serene smile. Let me read your story in exchange. Let me see the true, stalled Amber. Ooh, so am I gonna get to see Ishmael's backstory now? Also, I'm a little worried about myself as a character in this game. Feels like just a tiny bit like we're maybe becoming a little villainous. Just like a little tiny bit. Like we're maybe, you know, doing some stuff that maybe we shouldn't do? I don't know? Well, I'm looking at it. I think the rest of the chapter is still going to be a pretty significant amount of time. So I think I will actually stop here tonight, and I'll continue with the last 9 stages of the chapter tomorrow night. Alright. Thank you all for coming. I'm glad that you chose to be with me and spend some time with me tonight. Also, thanks again to Kiro for raiding, and to his community for coming with him. Now we're going to find someone else to raid. How about this time? How about this time we go raid... Let's go raid Lastiel, because it looks like he's doing something that I've never seen before, and that seems interesting. It's some kind of... looks like it's an interactive movie of some kind called As Dusk Falls. So let's go say hi, everybody. Once again, thank you all for coming, and I hope you all have a really wonderful week ahead of you. Goodbye. See you later.